Have you ever read the story of the fig tree? That we can find it in different gospels. We're going to read about it in Mark chapter 11, verses 12 through 14. On the next day, when they left Bethany, he became hungry. Seeing at a distance a fig tree in leaf, he went to see if perhaps he would find anything on it. And when he came to it, he found nothing but leaves, for it was not the season for figs. He said to it, "May no one ever eat fruit from you again," and his disciples were listening. So Jesus sees this fig tree and he's hungry, so he goes to eat some figs, but he finds nothing there. Now, what's kind of interesting and what some people have questioned about is it says it wasn't even the season for figs. So why would Jesus curse the fig tree when it wasn't the season for it to be producing figs? Well, there was a main season for fig trees to produce fruit, but there was also some based on weather or elevation or whatever that would produce fruit for 10 out of the 12 months. So it wasn't uncommon to find fruit on the fig trees even when it was out of the main season. So you would have the main season, but then you would also have some that would produce most of the year. So it wouldn't be unheard of to say that tree should have some fruit on it. And what's interesting with a fig tree is it will produce the fruit and then the leaves come along later. So you have fruit first and then the leaves come. Now the fruit, when it's not ripe, would be green, so it would kind of blend in with the leaves. So at a distance, when you're looking at that fig tree, you would think there must be fruit on it, because the fruit and the leaves would sometimes look alike from a distance. They'd be like the same color. And right up until it was ready to be picked, when it became ripe, then the figs would change color. So for Jesus to think that there might be fruit on that tree would not be uncommon. But when he got up there, there wasn't. Now, it had the appearance of having fruit, but there was no substance. Same as the Pharisees. He called out the Pharisees many times. And in Matthew 23:28, he says, "So you too outwardly appear righteous." So just as that fig tree appeared like it should have fruit on it, but when he really examined it, there was no substance there. He says, "You outwardly appear righteous to men, but inwardly, if you really go and you examine them, inwardly you are full of hypocrisy and lawlessness." Also in Matthew 23:14, he says, "Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites." Now, the root word of a hypocrite would be like an actor, somebody who's playing a part. "Because you devour widows' houses, and for a pretense you make long prayers. Therefore you will receive greater condemnation." So he says, for a pretense. Now, that word pretense is an attempt to make something that is not the case appear true. To attempt to make something that is not the case appear true. So we see this word appear keep popping up, that there is an appearance to these things that is not the truth of the matter. The fig tree appeared to have fruit on it, but that wasn't the truth. The Pharisees appeared righteous, but that wasn't the truth. They were trying to appear to be something that they were not. And pretense can actually also mean to pretend. So just like hypocrite, to pretend, to play a part, to be an actor. So they're playing the part of being these super righteous, God-fearing people, when inwardly, when you really did a self-examination, that would not be there. 2 Timothy 3:5 also says, "Holding to a form of godliness, although they deny the power. Avoid such men as these." So Paul says to Timothy, those who have this appearance, but there's no substance, they hold a form of godliness, but they don't have the power to back it up. He says to avoid these people. So it's not just good enough to look the part, to have an appearance, but to have no substance. He says to those kind of people to avoid them. So hopefully we're not that kind of people. You can't just look like a follower of Christ, but have no substance. You can't just be playing the part, but have nothing to back it up. You can't just be a hypocrite playing a part. You can't be going through the motions and not really having anything. It's all about the heart. That's what's really important. It's not about what you look like. It's about what's in the heart. Remember, Jesus said, outwardly you appear righteous, but God, we know, does not look on the outward appearance, right? We learned that when he was talking about David. You don't look at the outward appearance. He looks at the heart. So that's what God's looking at even today. He's looking at our heart, not our appearance. It doesn't matter what kind of emotions we go through. It doesn't matter what we appear to be to other people. What matters is what's on the inside, the heart. What substance do we have?